Deval Patrick is expected to announce tomorrow that he is running for president. Christina Rex is in New Hampshire, where Patrick will face his first big test.
In 2020, New Hampshire will celebrate its 100th year as the first in the nation primary. And neither Democrat nor Republican voters we spoke to who are out to dinner tonight think Deval Patrick running is a good idea. Do you think Deval Patrick should run for president?
No, I do not.
That was the resounding answer in a crowded bar and restaurant in Manchester, New Hampshire, hours before former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick reportedly plans to announce his candidacy for president.
I don't think that Deval Patrick has that national recognition.
Yeah.
That's very odd to me.
An announcement would make Patrick the 18th Democrat currently running. And WBZ's political analyst says his shot at the presidency is slim at best.
It's hard to see what he is thinking. It just goes to show that in politics, sometimes ego reigns supreme.
Patrick won't get to participate in the Democratic debates, and it might take some time to get the recognition he would need to win. Deval Patrick might run for president. Do you know who that is?
No. No.
Never heard of him.
No.
As people in New Hampshire gear up for the February primary, they're as undecided as ever. What does it say about the race?
Yeah, what does it say about the race where all these latecomers want to join in at this stage of the game? It blows me away.
And if Deval Patrick does want to enter the New Hampshire primary, he has until Friday to do so. In Manchester, Christina Rex, WBZ News.
And he is in. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick thinks that he can be the next president. The former two-term governor filed papers in New Hampshire today to appear on the state's first-in-the-nation primary. Now, he won't qualify for the next Democratic debate. But as Jim Smith explains, Patrick doesn't think that he's too late to join the campaign.
Hi, everybody. And so it begins. Yet another Massachusetts politician runs for president. And even as Deval Patrick filed paperwork just before the New Hampshire primary deadline, he insisted it's not too late.
It's early. Voters all across the country are, in some cases, just tuning in, and in many cases, haven't made their decisions.
In what might be a sneak peek at his strategy, the former governor struck a centrist theme, even in these times of unprecedented partisanship.
I think we have to be about how we bring people in, how we bring people along, and how we yield to the possibility that somebody else or even some other party may have a good idea, as good or better than our own.
Running the state of Massachusetts as governor is hard enough, but running for president, well, that might be even tougher in some ways. And now the current governor is weighing in.
That's a big decision on a grueling campaign, and in my view on it's really simple, which is anybody who wants to throw their hat into that ring, I think we all deserve to give them our respect.
For now, Deval Patrick seems content with underdog status.
If running for president is a Hail Mary under any circumstances, this is like a Hail Mary from 2 stadiums over.
Jim Smith, WBZ News.
I'm not asking them to make their decision today. I'm asking them to give me a chance.
Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick entering the race for president, officially filing his papers to be on the ballot in New Hampshire in February. And Patrick makes this move just 89 days before the New Hampshire primary. And while he says the late entry won't be easy, he says he is up for the challenge. WBZ's Christina Hager's live for us in Manchester, New Hampshire tonight, where Patrick is already doing some campaigning. Christina.
Yeah, David, you could say this is Deval Patrick's first official campaign stop. Manchester, New Hampshire, where he stopped and he met with some everyday voters after he hit the state capitol.
Hi, everybody.
Through the halls of New Hampshire's State House.
How's it going?
Okay, how about you?
One day before the deadline to get his name on the first-in-the-nation primary ballot, Deval Patrick filed his paperwork with the Secretary of State.
If running for president is a Hail Mary under any circumstances, this is like a Hail Mary from 2 stadiums over.
Sitting for his first press conference as an official candidate.
So I think that there is a sort of once-in-a-lifetime appetite today. Bring big solutions.
He says his wife's battle with cancer stopped him from entering the race earlier. Now she's cancer-free, and Patrick sees an opening.
I want to be in places where people feel left out and left behind by the political process and system.
So if you're for easing student debt, taxing the rich, public health care, what makes you different?
Well, first of all, a lot of the things that we've been talking about, I've done.
As governor of Massachusetts, he had plenty of critics, but enough support to serve 2 terms. Question is, will voters be as open to him in other states? He started working on that in his first stop at the typical New Hampshire campaign setting, a local eatery.
That's a huge opportunity.
A few exchanges with voters and he was off. A lot to catch up on. Well, it's no secret Deval Patrick is a longtime friend of Barack Obama, but it was interesting today. He distanced himself from his old friend a little bit, saying it was clear voters were ready for a change, and he doesn't want to go back to what he called the conventional establishment. In Manchester, New Hampshire, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick will be flying across the country this weekend, his first on the presidential campaign trail. He's going to speak in California tomorrow and Nevada Sunday.
Before he launched his campaign, he spoke with his former Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray, and I spoke with Murray today, who says Patrick is someone who has never been afraid to lose. So this is where you keep all your memories.
Yeah.
They won't be running mates this time. I noticed your bumper stickers back there. Do you think there might be a Patrick for president, Murray for vice president?
No, I don't bring in the geographic diversity.
But perhaps no one in politics knows Deval Patrick better than his former Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray, who got the call yesterday morning.
When he called, certainly there had been rumors and speculation, but I told him that I was proud of him, and I think that he's got a lot to offer.
With him getting into the race so late, do you think it casts doubt on the other Democrats in the field?
No, I think he's running because he believes that he has a vision that is important to him and will resonate with the public. It's a qualified field. There's a lot of depth there. But he brings something that's unique. A 2-term governor, someone who's worked in the private and public sector, worked in the nonprofit world in a variety of different ways. A lot of elected officials or pundits or advisors would say, you've got to have the money, you've got to have the organization. He does it completely the other way around.
Toward the end of your time with the Patrick administration, you went through a difficult personal time after your car accident. There was a lot of conjecture.
Yeah.
How did he treat you in that time?
Well, he had my back and supported me and my family during that. So, having him having your back, you don't forget that, and you remember people and how they treated you in moments like that. And he's a friend, and you remember all of those things, and he's a special guy to me, not just as a leader, but as a friend.
What do you think are the accomplishments of the Patrick administration that he should point to during the campaign?
Massachusetts has, gateway cities, which could be compared to Rust Belt cities in the Midwest. We're a much more rural state than sometimes people in Boston and Cambridge might think. So he governed the whole state. And when you think Massachusetts was one of the first states to come out of the recession because of smart strategic investments in infrastructure, in education, in innovation. And so I think that record is one that I think will resonate.
So you will see Tim Murray campaigning up in New Hampshire. He said Deval Patrick has got a busy 90 days ahead, but he certainly has a lot of
He has seen firsthand, exactly how talented he is as a speaker. The question is, did he wait too long to get in? I think time will tell.